Please help me welcome Dave Anderson. Thanks, Dave.
Well, I always enjoy being here at LeaderCast, and the interesting thing is I have a kind of a strange job. Yes, I went to West Point. Yes, I served in combat. And yes, I was in corporate America, really working hard at being a success. All these things were focused on success. But now I've created my own business where I get up on stage and talk to audiences large and small and tell them about all my failures. I talk to them about the time when I was arrogant and I didn't listen to somebody on my team who told me not to hire somebody, and I thought I knew better, and I watched that person blow up in front of me. I talk about the time when I lacked courage, when I was a coward, because I wouldn't fire a person that needed to be fired, and my whole team suffered because of it. The time when I was a hypocrite, when I claimed to be a man of integrity, yet consistently operated in the gray areas. And the time when I was selfish, maybe you guys can relate to this, the time when I was selfish at the grocery store parking lot and left my cart in the middle of the parking lot instead of walking one aisle over and putting it into the rack there. All these things are my failures, and some people say, well, Dave, why don't you talk about your successes? Because I want to talk about an area of leadership that doesn't get enough attention out there. See, what happens is, in leadership, and we talk about leadership development, when you read books and you get an MBA, all these things are focused on your skills as a leader, management skills. And you heard a statement earlier that said 3 out of 4 employees said, you know what, I'd rather have a new boss than get a raise. I'd rather have a new boss than get a raise. Studies after studies have shown that leadership in our culture is in trouble. We're spending, though, more and more money on training leaderships, but it's not having an effect. Why is that? Well, that's what I'm here to do. That's what I'm here to talk about today. That's what that book, Becoming a Leader of Character, is all about, that I've written with my dad. Because our goal, our vision, that I want to say with clarity, as Andy Stanley said, is to make sure that we are growing leaders who believe character is number one. Because if you think about it, what are all the things that we're doing in leadership development and training in schools and in businesses everywhere doing? It's like, what we're doing is, it's like giving somebody with a cough, giving somebody with a cough Robitussin, which is fine. Giving somebody Robitussin for a cough is fine. But the issue is what we're dealing with here. We're treating symptoms. What we actually have is a pneumonia patient. The disease is pneumonia. We keep treating it with a cough medicine. The symptoms in leadership are employee engagement in the toilet. The symptoms in leadership are employee turnover, lack of trust, dysfunctional teams, poor communications. And we've got lots of resources out there dealing with those things. But what's the root cause? What is the disease that we need to be focused on? It's character. Character is why people are going to follow you. Not because people don't follow you because of what you can do. People follow you because of who you are. They don't follow you because of what you can do. They follow you because of who you are. And we did a survey where we looked at and we did an online survey, and we asked people 2 questions. Who's your leadership hero? And what do you admire most about them? Who's your leadership hero and what do you admire most about them? And what we found was 87% of the responses, over 600 responses, 87% of the responses came back when we asked, what do you admire about them? They described a character trait. They described character. People don't follow you because of what you can do. They follow you because of who you are. Now let's face it, most leadership failures are character failures, right? The arrogant leader, character. The leader who doesn't listen, character. The leader who only looks out for himself or herself, character. The one who lies or cheats, character. The one who has a negative attitude all the time and brings everybody down, character. Leaders fail Because of character. Yet, when you read the books on leadership, when you hear speakers, when you go to these seminars, how often is there mention of the word character and integrity? Well, you know what? Actually, you hear about it. You hear about integrity, you hear about character. But you know what they say? They say you need to have it. Character, you need to have it. Integrity, you need to have it. But how many people tell you how to develop it? How do you develop character? How do we develop character in ourselves, the people we lead in a home and at work? How do we develop that character? Well, your character is like a muscle. You got to work it out, okay? You've got to exercise. What's that mean? That means you got to work, you got to sweat. See, a lot of people believe, and you might have heard this, oh, well, this little white lie is not a big deal, but when the big test comes, I'm going to be ready. But if you've never bench pressed 100 pounds, what makes you think you're going to bench press 300 pounds? Okay? Our character is like a muscle. And there's 6 habits of character that we need to be working on, that we need to be exercising. And these aren't going to be comfortable exercises. We don't grow when we're comfortable. When we go to the gym, if you don't break a sweat, do you think you're getting any more fit? No. If you don't break a sweat, you're not. If I set that treadmill to 1 mile per hour and I just kind of stroll and I walk out, am I in any better shape? No, we got to do things that make us uncomfortable to grow. And so the 6 habits of character that we talk about in our book are courage, humility, integrity, selflessness, duty, and positivity. Why do we start with courage and humility first? Because if you think about it, if most leadership failures are character failures, most character failures are due to what? Fear and pride. Fear and pride. We want to change people's thought processes about becoming leaders. Our vision, with clarity, I'm saying this again, that we want to help grow leaders who believe character is number one. It's not that the competencies and skills that we have been working on developing in all areas aren't important, but we've been ignoring this character side of things. How do we develop it? Daily exercise. You don't get in shape by reading a fitness magazine. You don't get in shape by going to the gym once. You don't get, your character doesn't build by reading a book. Your character doesn't build by going to a yearly seminar. It's what you do. You got to practice. You got to build these muscles up for when the big test comes. For when the big test comes. Because courage, you got to build courage. Why? Integrity is important. But you know what? You can't have integrity without courage. Think about it. If the only time I act with integrity is when it can't hurt me and when there's no risk involved, that's not integrity. Part-time integrity is not integrity. All these habits of character go together. So when you do a bench press, it works the chest, but it also works the shoulders. It also works the back. It works the triceps. All these things work together. And daily, you've got to do these exercises. Maybe it is telling that person they got food in their teeth. Right? How many of us don't do that because it makes me feel uncomfortable to do it? That's a courage issue that, in a small way, starts building that muscle, right? Starts building that muscle. We got to stop doing our kids' science projects for them. All right? Come on, I go to schools and I see those science projects, and I know an 8-year-old didn't do it. All right? But all these small tests build us up for a big test. This is all good news, everybody. I want to leave you with this. This is good news. Whatever your character is right now, you can make a change. You can change your character. Why? One decision at a time. Make a new choice today. Wherever you have been, you can make a new choice. And each time you make a new choice, it starts building a new habit. It's a new habit. And this is the type of leader our country needs. Our family needs. Our culture needs. Your business needs. We need leaders of character. The conversation needs to change from skills to actually being about who we are as a person. People follow you because of who we are, not because of what we can do, okay? As Winston Churchill says, character may be manifested in the great moments, but it's made in the small ones. What are we going to do? Are we ready to sweat? Are we ready to make things happen? Are we ready to change our character with the small things today? I want to thank you. Becoming a leader of character. We're going to be out there in the back. We're in the back with the big blue banners back there. Come see us, talk to us. Appreciate your time today. And remember, be that leader of character our country needs. Thank you very much.